Hello and welcome to Connected episode 493. It's made possible this week by our sponsors, Fitbod, ExpressVPN, and Ecamm. My name is Stephen Hackett, and I have the pleasure of being joined by Mr. Mike Hurley.
Well, hello there.
What's up?
Oh, nothing much. Hello, Federico.
Hello. Hi.
We're all here as normal. And we have follow-up.
Yes, we do.
This is going to be the last week of shower follow-up. I'm drawing the line here.
Oh, no.
Will it, though?
No, come on.
What if someone's shower goes green? Will you want to talk about that?
That was a real thing. It affected real innocent people.
Green showers?
What if a shower
green
starts hissing?
Hissing shower? Ooh.
Playing the classics today, boys.
Yeah. We got the hits. It was a real good starter episode for a new listener, you know?
It was something. Many people are typing because this is what I'm labeling this little section of follow-up, because many people wanted to hear more about why Mike is an evening shower.
I don't understand why this is even...
Wait, what?
What's the question about this? Why is this a thing that lots of people
started
care
saying
about?
something about, I take evening showers,
Yeah.
and then we moved on, and people have strong feelings about morning versus
Because why
evening.
wouldn't you just move on? Right? Like, why does this need to come up? Like, I shower at night. Like, oh no.
I don't get it. Is this a weird thing? Because I also do.
Thank you, Federico. People have to... Here's one of... Like, it's one of these things where, like, people like Casey Liss. Casey is actually one of these people.
Yeah, I mean, to be
Care
fair, he goes
about
to sleep
people's
at 6
decision.
p.m.
And
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't remember whether Casey is an evening or a morning shower. But whatever he has like a strong opinion
I
about
think he's
it.
a night shower, probably, because I think I disagree with him.
Yeah, I think he is a night shower because I remember him saying something like, "Would you really want to get in bed with all of your grossness from the day?"
Yeah,
So I agree with.
there's part of it, yeah.
But also, I just like to shower at night. Like, it's just what I like to
It's
do.
more relaxing, and it's like you unwind at the end of the day. You take a nice shower, and you're all clean and warm, and then you go to sleep, or you just chill with a movie before going to sleep. It's nice.
But when I do shower in the morning, that's also good too. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't... It's like, I'm clean, you know? Like, what's the deal? Stephen, what's your problem
Man.
with it?
Yeah.
I need the morning shower to wake up.
Oh, I just have a coffee, you know?
Yeah, me too.
That's what does it for me. I pour coffee over my head.
I also feel just gross during the day if I don't shower in the morning. Now, here's the secret about the morning shower. It doesn't
Okay.
preclude the evening shower. So, like,
No, it doesn't.
if you work out and get sweaty, like,
Mhm.
rinse off before bed. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. You can just shower twice a day, and that's also an option, you know? Just
Yeah.
shower in the morning and shower in the evening. And I don't understand why there's so much feedback about an inconsequential life decision.
Because it's the internet.
When I'm on vacation, I shower a lot. That's something I
Yes.
like to do
Mm.
when I'm
Yes.
on vacation.
You know.
I like to take
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 showers a day when I'm on vacation.
When we go visit my mom's family in North Carolina,
Do you mean me and you or just you?
my family,
Okay.
when my wife and I and our
My
kids
wife.
go to
My
North
wife.
Carolina to visit aunts and uncles and my one living grandparent. We always rent the same house. It's in the next town over. It's on Airbnb. It's the whole house, which is pretty nice. And it has the most incredible bathroom situation. It's this old like farmhouse that they redid and spent who knows how much money on. It has a huge, deep tub. So it's not like a shower tub like I have at my house. Like, it's like a deep tub, like
Mhm.
deep. And then it has a giant glassed-in shower that like 8 people could fit in. No, we don't invite that many people over.
Hang on.
But
Hang on. How do you know?
it's big. It has a shower head on each end, and in the center, it has like the rainfall head.
Oh, you kidding me? Can you turn them all on at the same time?
You can turn on. I'm trying to think. I think you can.
Oh my god!
They're all controlled individually, but you can't turn them all on. You'll just blast
like-
through the hot water.
You'll waterboard yourself, but
Yeah.
you'll have a good time, you know?
So we've stayed in this house either 2 or 3 times. I don't think we're gonna make it this summer, but we may go in the fall, and
Yeah.
we will rent that house again because of the master bathroom. It's awesome.
That sounds incredible.
It's really
That
good.
sound- like, I really loved just like a good shower head, like just like a big one. Like I like showers that if you're like under the water, you can't breathe. Like I like it to be that amount of water. It's hard to get that though. Like because it's all about pressure. Shower pressures.
I'm seeing if I can find a
difficult
picture of
thing.
the bathroom for y'all.
That would be good. Probably can't share it.
I'm not going
online,
to share it, but
no, share it online in the show notes. Please.
Well, I guess I could take a screenshot of it, or I could strip the metadata out of it. I'm trying to find
with the location, please, so that we can all see it.
Is it
The problem is people will reverse image search it, and then when you say I'm going to North Carolina, then there'll be like 100 people on the lawn.
I don't think I'm that popular.
Well, you could be though. Maybe 7 people will show up and be like, "Can we get in the shower with you?" Because you said it could hold 8 people. So
what are we listening to?
Why are we still? We're still talking about showers.
I told you this is the last time, and you said no, it's not.
No, you said it last week. I don't believe you anymore. You are.
Jeremy and Daniel both wrote
Thank
in
you.
praising the
No.
use of wearing AirPods in the shower. Jeremy
No,
said
no,
earbuds in
no.
the shower seems way less weird than a speaker. I don't know about that, Jeremy. I put an AirPod in when I start getting ready. Some days, if I make my
What?
fancy coffee or I have to shave, it might be 15 to 20 minutes before I can even get in the shower. An AirPod Pro in one ear lets me listen to a podcast. Host remind me that I'm out of shampoo. Thanks, Stephen.
What?
While keeping an ear out for chaos. But like, I don't understand. Like,
what?
no.
What?
Don't use an
What?
AirPod in the shower.
Don't wear your AirPods in the shower. Just don't do it.
Just
don't do it.
Don't do it.
I prefer this show when we were receiving pictures of people's thighs. Honestly,
Yeah.
We
it
can go
was
back
so
to
much
that.
better. Now we're getting shower
Wait,
hygiene and
thighs
hygiene
in the shower or no? Is
feedback.
that too much?
Mhm.
Is that too much?
Look, I'm cool with it. All right, it's fine.
Look, it's up to you. If you want to do that, that's fine. I'm not necessarily saying you need to, but if you want to, that's your choice. You know?
Oh
Look at
no,
anything
this
at
house is
point,
not
all
on
right?
Airbnb right now.
Damn.
Well, I click the old link and it doesn't go anywhere.
Let's move on to our new recurring segment that everyone's happy with.
Yes.
It's called Time for Teach Italian.
Okay.
Oh yes. In our quest to make Mike and Steven learn the Italian language, or at least the basics of it, we are starting with the alphabet. And Mike, can you remind me where we left off last week?
L.
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 L. So we stopped at the L, or in
L.
Italian, L. Okay.
L.
So we are moving up. We're moving past the halfway point of the Italian alphabet, and I'll give you a preview. All right. So for sure, we are going to do M, N, O, P, Q. That's M, N, O, P, Q. All right. So I think so M and N are pretty similar to the L.
If we can't get those, we can't get any, you know? Or
Yeah,
actually,
so-
I was just saying, these first 3, pretty simple, you know?
Yeah. And
I found
mean,
pictures. I found pictures. I'm sending them to y'all.
Jeez. Okay.
Stephen, we have moved on.
No,
Very
it took me a
much
long
moved
time
on.
to find this page. It is still
Okay.
on Airbnb. It was just like, I think their URLs.
That is a big shower.
Yeah.
That's a
That
nice
is a
shower,
very,
yeah.
very, very big shower.
Uh-huh. Look how
That's a
deep
very
the
big
tub
shower.
is. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why the shower is so big.
It's aggressively big, but it's
Oh,
awesome.
it's for 2 people because they got like the
Yeah.
2.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for
Oh.
8, if you need it to be.
Mm.
I mean,
Sure.
don't send pictures.
Yeah. So we were saying M, N. All right. So let's put it M, N. All right. These
M,
are the first 2.
N.
M-A-N-A.
Yes. Okay. Stephen has still the same. Your weakness is that you don't do the double consonants. So it's not M or N. It's M. Like with more.
In
Steven,
Yes.
here's I'm gonna get Steven, I want to try and help you out here, all right?
Please.
Just do a fake Italian accent. Just do it. It will help you, I promise. I know you're worried that like
I don't wanna get canceled.
Italy will cancel you,
No,
but like
you won't-
you need to
won't
just
get-
lean in. You need to lean in.
M. In.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I mean,
better.
it wasn't worse.
I did my hands
it
when I
wasn't
said
worse.
it. So
Do
So
the
the
hands. I
difference-
do the
so-
hands.
All right. So with the O, you don't need. It's not the sound. It's not closed like in English. It's not O. It's O.
oh,
Oh,
Yes.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait, what did you do?
I can't hear the difference.
So listen to the difference. In English, you would say "oh." In Italian, it's "oh."
Oh.
You see how? Yes, it's more open. It's wider. So P. This one is easy. P. Just like the
P.
bodily function. Yes.
P.
And finally, Q.
Q.
Q. It's not Q. It's Q. Okay.
Q.
M.
So
N.
M.
O.
N.
P.
O. P. P.
it's not
Oh,
P.
Pepe.
Yes.
Pepe. Pepe.
And Q. Q. Okay.
Thank
So
you,
now,
Professor Federico.
you want to save the other ones for next week?
Yeah.
Those are really tricky.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like we
we'll
can only
finish-
do 5 at a time, you know?
No, we got to finish it next week because I want to move on. I want to let you
Oh.
speak actual sentences.
QRSTUVW. That's like 9 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the end of next week's show, you know, rather than the start.
So we'll do the final 7. of 8.
RSTUVWXYZ.
How
9.
many? 7 or 8?
9.
9. Okay, so we'll do it next week, but then we got to move on because you need to start actually speaking Italian with basic sentences. So
Yep.
that's
That's
it for today.
Just an easy ramp up. We go from 5 letters a week to 4 sentences.
I think some
Yes,
of us are doing
yes,
like
don't
3.5 letters a week, to be fair.
All right. Speaking of languages, Eric wrote in and says, it appears after the 17.4 update that Siri will now read and announce messages in the original language they were sent in, so long as I have selected and downloaded the appropriate voice engines. However, this only supports reading and not replying to texts, but it's a start. Federico, have you seen this happen?
I do not use this feature. I don't have Siri read or announce notifications to me.
Yeah, I
so-
tried it for a while, and then eventually I stopped doing it. Stephen, do you have it?
I do for like iMessages and for carrot weather. Because if I'm on my bike or like working out and it's going to rain, I would like to know. But they're the only 2 that have that permission.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't do it at all.
I think this is a nice first step toward a multilingual Siri, which I really hope is something that's going to happen in iOS 18. But yeah, it's very limited for now. And I mean, I got to believe that once they're going to do a proper multilingual Siri, it's going to be based on the AI features that they're planning, right? So a system that can actually understand on the fly whether you're speaking to it in Italian or French or German or English, like and dynamically sort of adapt to that. So I really hope that's something we're going to see in June.
Yeah, I used to use the announce messages thing, but like, I love my wife, right?
That's good.
I love my
Mhm.
wife more than anybody else does, would be my assumption. But she writes very long text messages and multiple. Like if she wants to tell me something, she's going to tell me everything.
Mm.
And so that means that I could start getting it. We could be going on for like 2 minutes and Siri's just reading messages to me.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, I was like, I got to turn it off. And I told her, I was like, I've turned that feature off now. Because the thing is like, I want to read the message, right? And I'm still going to have to read the message after Siri has told me all about it. So I hear it and then I have to read it. That's too many times for the same message, you know?
I think I do the opposite of Adina. I send like 6 super short text messages back to back.
That's fine. There is definitely an etiquette around text messaging, which I think for a lot of us was formed in instant message days. Right?
Yes.
Like I do it too. Like I basically, every sentence is its own message.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Yes.
But if Adina did that to me, my unread counter would be like 600 unread messages just for one little conversation. So there you go. My wife.
Federico sent me something really amazing the other night. I think we both linked to it. Apple has updated their style guide, which is if you're going to talk about their brand, how they want you to talk about it.
Yes.
It's this big PDF full of silliness. And Federico, I know you had a couple of favorites in here.
Yeah. So this document that I've been using for a long time, and I'll get to whether I actually respect what is written in the document or not. It was last updated in October 2022, and it was updated again in March 2024 to account, obviously, for the Vision Pro and Vision OS, plus a bunch of other updates that have happened since. And some of my favorites, Apple doesn't want you to use the word headset to refer to the Vision Pro. In fact, you cannot even refer to the Vision Pro by saying the Vision Pro. Like other Apple products, it's just Apple Vision Pro. You don't say I like the Apple Vision Pro. You say I like Apple Vision Pro. Nobody speaks like that.
No, they say they say you can't use like, you have to use love. I love Apple Vision Pro.
You love Apple Vision Pro.
Wait,
also,
are you joking?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact that you thought I wasn't is something.
No, but there are tons of other instances of Apple saying, "Don't say this, say that instead." Which some of them are actually like nice sort of a modernization of the language. For example, using the word disable, Apple prefers you to say turn off, for example, or switch off, which I think is a nice change. But there are there is some silliness in the other.
Wow,
choices.
there's so much stuff in this PDF.
Yes. And the other
so
thing,
big.
which is the other thing that I really liked, something that we know because this change happened on the Apple website a couple of years ago, but now it's been put in the style guide. Don't refer to Apple's portable computers as notebooks; they are laptops. So they officially moved away from the notebook terminology, and a portable computer is now a laptop. It's not a notebook. So.
I wonder if the iPad changed that, right? Because like the iPad is more of a notebook than a MacBook is.
What about MacPad? Is that in here?
That's what is that? Like a note top, lapbook,
tab top,
tab top.
Yeah. So, Stephen, do you adhere strictly to these guidelines?
No.
Me neither. So I think this document is useful to know the official names of features and the capitalization of UI elements. But I am not gonna put out a blog post and saying, since I've been using Apple Vision Pro, like I'm not gonna speak like that because it's now how I speak in real life. But I still think it's useful to know the official terminology, especially for like interface elements. That's where this document usually comes in handy for me.
I just found a fun one. Like I was just like scrolling through it and I stopped it. Fit dial. The dial that lets you adjust the fit of the Apple Vision Pro.
Did you know
Apple
it was
Vision
called
Pro.
that? Of
You
Apple Vision
turn the fit dial. You don't rotate it.
Wow. I've got a favorite for Apple Silicon. The S is lowercase in Apple Silicon, like Mac Mini with a small m.
Yeah.
To refer to Mac models with Apple Silicon, say Mac with Apple Silicon. Don't say Apple Silicon Mac. Here's what I like. To refer to other Mac models, use Intel-based Mac or other Mac computers.
Other Mac computers.
We don't even talk about them.
Those other ones.
Yeah.
Do they have, I'm trying to find it, but like maybe you know, do they have how you pluralize like iPhone? Like, you got like the iPhone
devices, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's iPhone
Isn't it?
device. Yeah.
But what about like if you're referring to like the multiple like iPhone models in a generation?
Exactly what you just said, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
There's so much in here. This is absolutely wild. I also feel like this must be so hard to internalize from a marketing and documentation standpoint. I mean, and I know that we always find examples. Like headset was used in, I think, a settings app for the Vision Pro at one point, right? Like, because this is an incredibly hard thing to deal with.
I think the App Store calls it Vision Pro without the Apple. Or Apple Vision, I think, without the Pro.
Gross.
The alert that you get when Vision OS tells you move the headset slightly down, doesn't it still say headset?
Oh, does it say that? That's funny.
Yeah. Move your headset
really
slightly down. That's what.
Move
the
your
alert says.
device. You're gonna move your device.
Move Apple Vision Pro slightly down.
Move the device.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I really like the examples of like iMovie. Don't use iMovie when you mean movie or project. Correct. You can share your movie on YouTube. Incorrect. You can share your iMovie on YouTube. It's full of it's full of these things. Yeah. It's a nice document. I mean, if you're into this sort of thing, but I mostly just like
a
to
bit of a shock as I got to R, and the first point is racism. Just like, whoa! I wasn't expecting to see that in the style guide. And it just says
Do you
"see
capitalize
writing
racism?"
inclusively." It doesn't. No.
Oh, good.
Yeah, see.
We have ray tracing is in here. That's fun. There's lots of stuff in there. There's lots of stuff. I just wanted to talk about the crime that I commit frequently. So
frequently.
frequently, calling it iPhone, right? Just saying like I have iPhone, or like there's new iPhone, or like this is Apple iPhone 16 or whatever, is frustrating, right, to read. And like the idea of writing that way is silly. And I always thought it was just like, why even bother? That was until I started making and talking about my own products. I do this. I write without the. So with Sidekick Notepad, see, like I just did it. I don't say the because it's not the Sidekick Notepad. That's not the name of it. This is especially accentuated because I have a product that does have the in the product name, the Theme System Journal. So we don't call it the Sidekick Notepad. We call it Sidekick Notepad. And in marketing, I would say, you can take Sidekick Notepad with you. I do this. And look, I need to own up to it, all right? But like all I'm saying is I understand sometimes you don't want to do it. And so I try very hard.
What's the plural of Sidekick Notepad?
Sidekick Notepads. Because we have other products. Sidekick. The S, the pluralization is in between the I and the C of sidekick. Sidekick. That's how you're supposed to do it if you follow the correct style guide. So I'm just letting you know, I do this. That's my life. That's the crime I commit. I apologize, but sometimes you just got to do it. I understand. Me and Phil Schiller, we understand each other. That's the end of it.
Are you sending emails you shouldn't send to people?
All the time. You couldn't believe it. The things I write down.
Are you also going to get a fine from the European Union?
Legally, I can't talk about that right now.
I guess in the UK, I guess you can't, but still. All right. So yeah, that's a style guide. That's pretty nerdy document.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you, Federico, about Zapier's new automation thing.
Yes.
What are they doing, and why is it exciting?
So after I shared this on Mastodon, I was told that a similar feature also exists in Make.com, which is another web automation service. And also, of course, Microsoft rolled out a similar feature in their sort of take on shortcuts called Power Automate, and they branded as Copilot, of course.
What a bad name.
So and it's a pretty bad app that is confusing to use. So anyway, the idea was that I needed to create an automation in Zapier to automate something with the email newsletters that we send. And I noticed that there was a compose field that said, hey, you want to describe what you're trying to build, and we're going to use AI to assemble the actions for you. I was like, is this like another of those features that are like, we made it better with AI? Is it actually going to work? And so I was like, okay, let me try this. And I did, and I was pretty impressed with the results. I shared screenshots on Mastodon. So for example, one of the things that I asked the Zapier service was a pretty complex sentence. When a new email is sent from Button Down, which is our new email provider for newsletters, and only if that email contains the word weekly in the subject, extract a number from the subject and save that number to a text file in Dropbox. That was my description of what I wanted to have. So basically the idea was we send email newsletters that are in the subject line, they say Mac Stories Weekly : issue 408, for example. And I wanted to extract that number and save only the number to a text file in Dropbox. I hit enter on the Zapier beta AI feature, and it worked. Like it understood what I was trying to do, and it put together 4 actions that would have taken me a solid 20 minutes to understand, and to browse the collection of hundreds of actions that Zapier has. And I only needed to slightly edit one of them, the third one, but it was very easy because I just needed to change from a menu, do not extract text. I want you to extract a number, but that was about it. And the fact that just with natural language, this service understood what I was trying to build, and it turned a sentence that I would speak to, I would typically go to a developer and be like, hey, I need a feature that does this and this and that. And the developer would, a human would say, okay, let me write some code, or let me put together some actions for you. Here, just the large language model understood what I wanted, and it got to work, and in just 10 seconds I had what I was looking for. And it got me thinking, can you imagine when this kind of feature, if this kind of feature makes it, to iOS and shortcuts, and how much it would lower the barrier to entry for people, who want to use shortcuts and they know. See, the issue with shortcuts, I think, is there's so many people who know what they want to build, they don't know how to build it. And despite Apple's many attempts over the years at simplifying the shortcuts UI with suggestions and the gallery, and even though there's people like me putting out guides and whatever for shortcuts, there's still such a high barrier to entry to put together even a moderately complex shortcut. But can you imagine if you could just describe what you're looking for, and shortcuts does it for you thanks to AI, and that makes me really excited.
Yeah, I mean, I am one of these people, right? Like, where frequently I have an idea for a shortcut and I can maybe get half of the way there, but if something is new to me, like, and I haven't built with it before and I don't have any examples of it, I get lost, right? Because I don't really know how to get it to do what I want in a way that feels satisfying. And so something like this would, even if it did like 3/4 of the work or whatever for me, even if I had to do some tweaking, which I think you probably did to these Zapier ones, it still gives me like the basic structure of how to complete it. Because one of the things that's really helped me in any of the shortcuts that I built on my own is having looked at shortcuts that you build, Federico, right? And like seeing how the short like really advanced stuff works kind of helps me understand how I can get it to do what I want it to do. And so having the system kind of hold my hand and get me through the majority of it, at least, would be hugely helpful for me in my work to be able to actually get what I'm looking for out of shortcuts, which genuinely, like if they do this, like if Apple do this, and I'm not confident they will, but if they did this, it could truly make shortcuts what it always should have been, right? In the way of like helping regular people use their devices to get things done without them needing to be involved.
Yeah.
That is a big if.
Yeah.
Big if.
Big if. I know.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Fitbod. When you want to change your fitness level, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why I'm pleased to let you know that Fitbod is an easy and affordable way to build a fitness plan that's just for you. Everyone's fitness path is different, which is why Fitbod uses data to make sure they customize things exactly to suit you, adapting as you improve, so each workout will be challenging, pushing you to make the progress you want. Superior results are achieved when a workout program is tailored to your unique body, experience, environment, and goals, all of which are stored in your Fitbod gym profile. This means Fitbod can track your muscle recovery so you can avoid burnout and keep up your momentum. And it builds your best possible workout by combining AI with exercise science. They've analyzed billions of data points that have been fine-tuned by certified personal trainers. And you can be sure you're learning new movements the right way thanks to more than 1,000 demonstration videos. That's my absolute favorite thing about this app. If I'm trying something new, I can be nervous. I don't want to do it incorrectly where it's not effective, but I also don't do it incorrectly and end up with an injury. And these videos are shot from multiple angles. They're really high quality. It's excellent. Muscles improve while working in concert with the entire system. So overworking some muscles while underworking others can negatively impact results. That's why Fitbod tracks muscle fatigue and recovery to design a well-balanced workout routine, which also means you're never going to get bored as the app mixes up your workouts with new exercises, rep schemes, supersets, and circuits. All of this is really easy to use. You stay informed with Fitbod's progress tracking charts, weekly reports, and sharing cards, letting you keep track of your achievements and personal best, and then share them with your friends and family. And it integrates with your technology, Apple Watch, Wear OS smartwatches, and apps like Strava, Fitbit, and Apple Health. Personalized training of this quality can be really expensive, but Fitbod is just $12.99 a month or $79.99 a year. But you can get 25% off your membership by signing up at fitbod.me/connected. So go there now and get your customized fitness plan, fitbod.me/connected. That's FITBOD, fitbod.me/connected for 25% off your membership. Our thanks to Fitbod for the support of this show and Relay FM. Believe it or not, we have more stuff going on with Apple and the EU. This is like round 712, I think. The whole situation keeps changing. I think there's been some conversation about why things keep changing, which I don't really understand. Like Apple's rules initially, like there was their suggestions on how they could meet these things. And clearly they've still been meeting with regulators, sorting all this out. The new changes that are new this week are the ability for a app developer to have their app available on their website, not having to be in an alternative marketplace. This is web distribution. There's still a lot of fine print with this, like a lot of fine print. Developers are still in the new business terms. So the core technology fee of what is it, like 50 cents?
50 cents. Yep.
For each first annual install over 1 million in the past 12 months. There's a calculator fee on Apple's website. So if you're a developer, you can plug your numbers in. Apps distributed to the web still have to be notarized. Apps through the web still have to be tied to a domain that the developer has registered in App Store Connect. In App Store Connect, you marry a web domain and your app. That still has to be there. The developer's legal entity has to be within the EU. So when talking about Epic, towards the end of last week, where Apple allowed Epic, like a Swedish company for Epic, in the App Store and then kicked them out, and then we're told to put them back in. That's why it was like Epic Sweden. You have to have a legal entity within the EU. You have to be a member of good standing of the Apple Developer Program for 2 continuous years and have an app that has had more than 1 million first annual installs in the prior calendar year. So this is not for someone starting out, hey, I'm writing my first iOS app. I'm in the EU. I just want to put it on my website. These rules don't allow for that. So those are the fine prints. I think people saw the headlines like, oh my gosh, you can install from the web. It's like free range sideloading. It is not free range sideloading. It is, you can just use a website instead of having to work with an alternative marketplace. Not as exciting as it sounded like.
Yeah, it's still something.
It is.
Like, yes, it is not as exciting, but it is still something. It is a change that now they'll be able to... You as a developer don't have to go and be a part of and do a deal with a app marketplace to offer your app
right
outside of the App Store, right? So that's a big deal.
So it could save you money in that way.
You just have more flexibility over how you want to run your business, right? Like, you're going to pay the core technology fee anyway, and then, as you say, it could save you money. You don't have to pay a fee to somebody else, but you also don't need to go through their application submission process. You can just offer it on your own, right? And if you're willing to pay the money that would be needed to pay for that, you now also have potentially more freedom, provided that you meet all of the other terms. So, like, it is still, I think, better. It's still not what people realistically want, but I think this is still an improvement over where it was a week ago.
I think so too. And looking at this section of these changes, one company comes to mind. It starts with S and it's in Potify. Like, I don't know if they would do this, but I could see, like, okay, you've been in the App Store for more than 2 years. You have more, I'm sure, than 1 million first annual installs. Like, if you're going to leave, you're going to be stuck with the core technology fee anyways. Like, I could see a world where Spotify or an app of that size, maybe this is something they would want to do. Or they could take advantage of the next change, which we'll talk about in a second.
Well, the potential thing about that, though, is I'm not sure if you're aware, but currently Spotify pays Apple nothing, and they don't want to pay Apple any money. They want to continue paying nothing. So they probably wouldn't want to pay the core technology fee because Spotify don't pay Apple anything. I don't know if you knew that. Nothing.
I had heard that.
I had no idea.
It's a rumor going around.
I didn't know
That's
that.
what we're going around. Nothing.
So so I think the web distribution is obviously like a good change, right? A good update, but I still kind of have to wonder, like the fact that there's all these conditions that
Mhm.
still need to apply here. Like, yeah, you can do it, but only if you are a member of good standing, and you still gotta pay the core technology fee. Like all these asterisks, right? I have to wonder, like, if I'm a developer in the European Union, and if it is my right under this new regulation to be able to release my apps with different, outside of the gatekeeper's control, isn't the core technology fee and this sort of vague idea of being a developer in good standing, like, is it like, aren't these two things still gatekeeping measures that are going against my rights as a European developer?
There is a people are getting quite upset about this online for reasons I understand, but like, by a reading of the law, what Apple is doing is illegal in the European Union. Like, there is I think, a very fair reading of the DMA where you could say this is illegal still because they are still continuing to be a gatekeeper, because they are still telling you what you can and can't do. So like, and this is exactly why we are seeing changes on a weekly basis right now.
Yes.
Because it's what Stephen said at the start, right? Like, Apple put its proposals together, and they are continuing now to meet with companies, developers, and the European Union to continue to craft this. Because what Apple is trying to do, I'm sure, is like, what is the best reading of this law for us? And we will craft our rules that way. And then if we get told we can't do it, then we'll try and do it a little bit better for everybody else, but still good for us. And like, they are just like inch by inch, not wanting to give anything, and they're just only giving up what they are being told legally they have to give up. But if they want to continue to do business in the European Union, that's how it seems to me.
Yeah.
The next change is Apple says that app marketplaces can now offer a catalog of apps from a single developer. So before, Spotify, again, just use them as an example, could have not set up the Spotify store and just have their apps in it. Meta cannot set up the Meta app store and just have Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and WhatsApp. They had to open their marketplaces to other developers, and now that restriction is lifted. So these companies, a single developer or a company with a portfolio of apps, could open their own app marketplace.
Yeah, so Epic Game Store with Fortnite. That's, even just if even if it only comes with Fortnite, that's now legal in theory.
Or even if just Epic Games, right? Because they have a bunch of them. So like, this would mean that they wouldn't have to, if they didn't want to, have it be like a Steam, even though the Epic Game Store is. But like, Epic own a bunch of video games, right? That they have bought over time to like make their store more attractive. So now if they wanted to, they could just offer those games, and they could probably do it faster. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised if like it may be able to have taken them a little while to get the Epic Game Store up and running, because they would have needed to actually have other people want to put their games on the store. But now they'll be able to do it, as you say. Like, they could just launch, like, we're launching with just Fortnite, and there'll be more to come. But they will actually be able to launch with just Fortnite if they want to, which they definitely will. I mean, it'll just be a case of whether there'll be other games. But I also think that this makes sense. Like, that was one of the restrictions where it was like, but so what though?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do they have to be stores like that everybody can sign up to? Why do you care about this?
Yeah.
Like, and so this is an interesting one. But it's also like, realistically, why would you, considering point one exists, why would you do second? Like, if you're Meta, right? Why would you set up an app marketplace? You might as well just offer them on a website. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of the marketplace?
Mm-hmm.
But unless you want to keep it clean, but yeah.
And then this last one's a little tricky. So people saw like the quote unquote scare sheets with like the big text of like, you were leaving to go to the website. Apple can't protect your credit card information. Those are still there. But the step before that was also heavily regulated by Apple, saying you could design your link out only in certain ways. And now Apple says that developers can choose how to design those promotions and other deals in their app as opposed to using those predetermined templates. So now they can, and Apple still has their old templates there as like a strongly recommended, but you can make your own sort of splash page in your app, and the user can tap the link. They will see the scare sheet of you are leaving this app to go to the website. You are going to be using a third-party payment processor, not Apple's App Store payment processing. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Click through that, and then you go to the default web browser on the phone. So that was kind of used to be a two-step thing. Now it's a one-step thing in terms of what Apple requires. This is still EU only. So if you're a reader app, or if you're in another jurisdiction where some of this is allowed, that this particular change where you can design your own links, basically, that is EU only, and it still requires you to accept the new App Store terms.
That's like the idea that you need to accept the App Store terms for this is madness. It's madness, because this is something you can do anyway, right? Like, why do you need to accept the new App Store terms to do this? If you're a reader app, say, that doesn't make any sense. But also, like, you know, the scare sheet part, right, where they're like, it's just so dangerous out there. While I think it's ridiculous, I at least can understand an element of it for Apple covering themselves legally, right? Where, you know, they don't want to be ending up in court with some customer who's like, I thought all the transactions on the iPhone were safe and da-da-da-da, right? Like, I can understand that to a point. But the idea that, like, they said you could only talk about promotions in a certain way, like, the hubris. Like, so much of this process is showing their hubris, like how they believe business should be conducted on the iPhone. Like, there's only one good way to show a promo, and it's the way we make. Like, what are you talking about? Like, let these companies be themselves. Like, if they want to talk to their customers the way they want to, they should be able to. Like, why do you have to insert yourself into every part of this process?
Well, that's the heart of it. Apple doesn't view them as the developers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Customers. Which
is, as you know, very rightly point out, like, that is the reason for a lot of this, right? That the Apple are just upset that the European Union is taking their customers away when they're not actually theirs to begin with.
I find these whole arguments that I feel like I'm you know, sometimes I don't even know how to comment on certain things that I see online, but like this idea that, purchasing with your credit card stuff online is dangerous. Why would you use your credit card on a website? Like you don't do these things every single day on Amazon, or you buy stupid iPhone accessories on a website
that and you saw on Instagram. Who hasn't doing that?
Do some people even have a grasp on reality or not? Like, I don't even get it. I don't even get it anymore. You know, and I find it so rich when it comes from websites where you can sign up for a subscription with your credit card. Now, that's not an Apple subscription, right? You're using your credit card on a website.
Yeah.
And I find that so ironic. But, you know.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Watching Netflix without using ExpressVPN is a bit like buying tickets to your favorite artist, but only being allowed to watch the opening act. Netflix has thousands of shows across different countries, but without a VPN, you only get access to a limited selection based on your location. With ExpressVPN, you can unblock those shows by amending where it thinks you're located. And it works on other streaming services too. This means that I can watch The Office US on Canadian Netflix, or Rick and Morty in Netflix in Australia, The Shawshank Redemption, currently Netflix Canada, Back to the Future, my all-time favorite movie, also Netflix Canada. By just one click, I can open the app, choose the country I want Netflix to think I'm in, and I'm off to the races. There are so many reasons to choose ExpressVPN. It has blazing fast speeds. You can stream in HD with zero buffering. It's compatible with all your devices, phones, laptops, media consoles, smart TVs, and more. Plus, they have servers in 94 different countries, so you can gain access to thousands of new shows, and it works with other streaming services like the BBC iPlayer, YouTube, and many more. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting a fraction of what they offer. Get your money's worth by going to expressvpn.com/connected. That's expressvpn.com/connected, and you'll get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free for using our link. Our thanks to ExpressVPN for the support of the show and Relay FM. So in thinking about all of this, we thought maybe there's something to make this more fun. Because look, we don't like talking about this.
I do. No, I do. I understand why people don't, but I like to get angry about it. So, like, you know, I do like talking about it, but I understand that maybe a lot of people don't or like listening to it.
Yeah.
But
So
I get excited.
So we're turning it into a game. This, we're just 2 rounds. We are making picks on what we think Apple will need to change next in its DMA response. We're going to be going in order of proximity, and we will judge these in a
Proximity to
month.
what? Proximity to what? To
the EU.
Brussels? To what?
To the EU.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
wait. Actually, hold on. What is the EU?
Yeah.
Well, Federico lives in it, and you live next to it, and I live far away from it. It's not that
No,
hard.
but like if we're saying Brussels, like I might be closer. I don't know.
Well,
Right.
the order's
Right.
in
Is
here.
it the EU? Is it
He's
the
in
E-
it, you're
like,
not,
is it-
I'm really not. So it's rough proximity.
Okay. Okay. So I am. He used to be. You're not.
Right.
That's how we. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
Cool.
That's good.
We
I
will
like that.
judge these on our April 17th episode, so that's about a month from now. 2 points for each thing we get right. 1 point is removed if something is not correct. How does that sound?
2 points for each thing you get right. 1 point removed if something is not correct. Okay. So and these points, what are they useful for?
Absolutely nothing.
We'll find out.
No, I don't.
Something will
Okay.
happen between now and then.
They will.
Yeah, we'll
okay,
come
so
up with
they will-
something.
They will be useful for something. Okay.
This
Yeah.
is
Okay.
like a modified version of Ricky rules, right? Is what we're doing here.
I
Because
mean,
it's like
kind of.
2 points, but also a reduction point if you don't get something correct. So it's like it is.
Yeah,
It's a
it's its own
modified
thing
Ricky.
though. It's the
Right.
I have a name for it. Are you ready for this?
Please do what I want you to do. Go
The
on.
EUIs.
Oh, that's not what I thought, but I love
Oh
it.
my
What do you think
God.
I
I
was
was
gonna
going to say Ricky with a U in it. Ricky U.
Oh, like EU, but Ricky.
Yeah.
I like the EUIs.
With EUs? Yeah, I like
EUs.
that too. That's much better. The EUs.
Uh-huh. So we each have a couple of picks here. We'll grade them in a month. Federico, as a citizen of the European Union, do you think of yourself as that way? Or do you think,
Yes, absolutely. I
Okay.
am.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, like,
Yeah, I
you
do.
think of yourself as European before Italian?
No, but I obviously I'm Italian, but I am a very, very, very strong proponent of the European Union as a
Yeah.
concept. Yes.
Okay. That was how I always felt, right? Like I felt like I was British before I was European, but I was very in favor of the European Union. So like,
Yeah, no, I'm Italian, but I'm
Yeah.
very much in favor of the EU.
Yeah.
Yes. So I get to go first, right? In these rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I also as the most in favor.
I was also the most in favor. Most in favor. So round one, my pick is the core technology fee is considerably altered, especially for web distribution.
Okay.
I really think this fee is gonna get changed, especially now that you get to release apps on a website. Because then, like, even with the app marketplaces, like that whole idea of, well, it used to be the discourse online used to be that, but developers need to pay a fee because Apple takes care of all the costs, with the App Store and distribution and everything. Now that concept was removed with the alternative marketplaces, and now even more so with just, a developer can put an app on a website and you can install that app on your device from a website. So I think that core technology fee doesn't scale to free apps, doesn't scale for a lot of factors. I think it's a silly idea because otherwise Apple would have done it on the Mac years ago. It doesn't seem like you need to pay something to anybody if you want to put out a Mac app for free on your website, and it should be the same on a phone. So the CTF is considerably altered, especially for web distribution. That's my pick.
It's a good pick. I have some stuff I want to say in the CTF later on, so I'm gonna hold my thoughts on it for now. But I do
Okay.
like, it's this thing, right? As you say, like the cost. Like now, before it was distribution, and now they're like, now it's because of APIs. The APIs are expensive.
Sure.
Even
Sure.
though, as we noted earlier, Spotify pays nothing, and they're using the APIs,
Nothing.
and they're able
They
to
pay nothing. So, Mike, you're up.
The idea of member of good standing, that language is removed. I don't think this can pass muster. Like,
No.
I think they've already gotten themselves in trouble because the member of good standing idea is exactly what they threw at Epic, and that was immediately gotten rid of, right? Like
it's the equivalent of "if we like you."
If we like you, that is 100% what it means. Like there is nothing because do you want to know who is not a member of good standing? Epic. They are the example of a member not in good standing because they did something that nobody else has ever done before at such a grand scale, right? Where they put one of the most popular apps in the App Store, they snuck in like a Trojan horse, and then they had an entire advertising campaign making fun of Apple, ready to go, right? Like, if you want, who is a member of bad standing? Epic's a member of bad standing. But they were able to get back in to this program again. So the member of good standing thing, it's not, I don't even think you can legally argue this, right? And also it is essentially saying, as Federico said, if we like you. And so I can't understand how something like this could even be enforced. And so I just think that they're gonna have to get rid of it.
Yeah. It's very hard to codify into law the idea of good and evil, and here Apple is literally asking the EU to say, hey, we want to codify good as an idea to qualify for this program. What does it even mean? What's good for you? It's what does it even mean? So I think you will get these 2 points, Mike. I
because
really
this is
so.
Also like this has only just started appearing in like the last week, this idea, this like member of good standing thing. And so like this is the latest thing where they're going to be told, no, you can't do that, because it just hasn't been around long enough for it to be taken away from them yet.
You got to give it a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's a good one. That language has bothered me since it showed up because it doesn't mean anything. Like it's not a thing. Okay, mine has to do with one of the changes this week, where Apple is letting people do their own layouts for links and promotions, but you still have to go through the scare sheets. And I think that those two could become optional. So right now, there are 2 of them. One says this app doesn't support the App Store's private and secure payment system. That's if you're using your own payment processing. And then the other one, if you're linking out to the web for purchase, you're about to go to an external website. Apple is not responsible for the privacy or security of purchases made on the web. Big font, big scary typeface. I think that this is like, it's more like anti-steering stuff is kind of how it feels. At least lightly, trying to keep people in the app.
Some light steering.
Light steering.
Just a gentle curve.
It may not legally be anti-steering, but I think it's the same effect. And
there's a reason we jokingly call them scare sheets, right? Like, so I think you're right. It is without doing the actual like locking off steering that they do. They are trying to get people not to do the thing by telling them to go back.
So yeah, that's my round 1 pick.
So you think that they won't be able to, or they won't be enforcing the idea of having these. So if you want to link out, it's up to you if you use them, and so you can just press the button and go.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I would like this.
Yeah,
but I think that was bold. That's a bold one.
Yeah,
I think they will fight this one pretty hard.
Probably, but at the same time, like, I don't know how much fighting Apple can do on any of this at this point.
Very good point.
Before we start with round 2, can we just take a second to appreciate the fact that we are literally playing a game about regulation in the EU? and what Apple is gonna do, and we established a point system for this. Like, it's like I just appreciate what we do here and how silly we can get about something that is so boring.
We turned regulation into a game.
Yeah, it came to me. It came to me when we were chatting in iMessage yesterday.
Yep.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good.
So that being said, my first pick for round 2 is Phil Schiller is replaced as the head of the initiative.
Yeah.
Jeez, this is a bold one.
Yeah. Look, I like Phil Schiller. I have met Phil Schiller.
Mm-hmm.
I have spoken to Phil Schiller. I think he's done, obviously, over the years, a ton of good things for the App Store. The whole subscription initiative and all of that. But my problem now is that I think Apple needs a person with a stronger hold of European views and values. I think putting an American person, for as much as he can be knowledgeable here about the EU and the DMA and the App Store, I feel like the Apple probably needs somebody with different sensibilities when it comes to dealing with the European government.
Because you've just opened my eyes to something that people have been talking about this. I've been seeing people talk about this, but I think you can remove Phil from this argument. Like, the issue they may be having is the European Commission just have a disdain for the Americans, right? Like, you could just say that as like a starting point, where it's like they would maybe have better conversations with someone from Europe, where like we're coming to the table as Europeans to have this discussion, as opposed to the Americans coming in to talk to the Europeans. Like, that is just a bad starting point for these kinds of negotiations, I'm sure. That's a really good point, Federico.
That is exactly what I was driving at. I think they need a new public face to drive this whole quest toward respecting and implementing the DMA, and to have someone who maybe comes with a background in the European Parliament, or just somebody who's used to lobbying with EU regulators. I think that would be a better starting point than putting the person who used to work for Steve Jobs with a very American-centric point of view in charge of this whole process. So yeah, that's my pick.
I like it a lot.
It's good. There was a story at the end of the month that Apple was hiring away a deputy assistant to Joe Biden, Olivia Dalton. I think she worked for him for like 2 decades and in communication.
Yeah.
I don't know if she would take this over, because I think you're right that someone like she's more American than Phil Schiller. Like, she worked for the federal government for a long time.
My bet on her is she is being brought in to get ready for when the Americans try and do something like this.
Maybe so. Yeah.
You said this is an upgrade, and I thought that was an excellent point. Yes.
This is this has gone so badly. We need this to go not so badly when it happens on our home turf, because we can't argue so much.
They could have put a European in charge of in the US instead.
Yes. It's like, we know how to do it.
Yeah. I'm the new head of the App Store. Hey, I'm going to talk to Joe Biden.
President Biden. I have a recommendation.
Oh, yes, my president. Oh, boy.
All right. My second pick is that the core technology fee is removed for fully free applications.
Ooh.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing, right? Fully free. You cannot make money, right? Like, this is what I actually believe too. Like, if you, I said this before, like, if you're a company and you have an advertising model and like Apple's telling you need to pay them, you just need to pay them, right? Like, if you want to do the business with the way they want to do it, fine. But I do think if you are an application that is completely free, has no intention of making money, you shouldn't need to pay the core technology fee. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, and then you should be able to benefit for everything you want. Now, as Zach is saying in the Discord, this would be very hard to police developers outside the store. This is hard anyway, because a lot of this stuff, you have to provide accounting to Apple.
Yeah, they do have for some types of purchases outside. There are some like API things that you can tie back into. It's not like you're just sending a CSV over to Apple, but it is extremely difficult, I think.
Yes, like a lot of the weird carve out rules that Apple's been doing in all different kinds of countries and jurisdictions require like you have to kind of pledge a blood oath to Apple that you'll be truthful to them and they can audit you whenever they want. And so like maybe they would just do a similar thing, right? If you are completely free, that is totally fine. But if we audit you and we find out you're making money, you owe us all the money. And that in theory should be enough. It's the same as like taxation law, right? Like just in general. Like a lot of the way that taxation law is like you're going to be honest about your taxes because we could audit you and then you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
And I could just imagine them trying to do something like that because I think it's going to get really complicated. Like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there is a way, but like if you distribute your app via the web, do they even know how many people have downloaded it?
I'd imagine that I don't know this, but I would imagine there's some mechanism,
some kind of call
in the installing process that they create a note.
Yes, and they could check because the app needs to be notarized, right?
Yes.
So they could always check like how many hits to the Apple servers for notarization they get,
right?
And infer, how many active installs there are.
But nevertheless, I'm not saying I think this is necessarily going to happen. I think it should. Like I think they would save themselves so much heat if they removed this for applications that were completely free. And at the end of the day, for applications that make money, whether you make a lot of money or not a lot of money or whatever, you kind of just have to get on board with the fact that like this business that you're in business with is telling you these are the terms of being in business with this business. And if everyone's making some element of money, like we just have to all get on with it. But it is very complicated for me for them to say that like for you to distribute a free application inside of the European Union, if it's a very popular free application, you should give us money. But there's like a line of popularity. Like it's just very complicated, and I would just feel happier if they did this. But I don't think they will. I mean, what is more likely is what Federico said, that it's considerably altered or just like removed completely. But I'm thinking that Apple will try everything they can for that, and the fully free apps that have CTF removed.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's I think it's weird the way the CTF is applied evenly to everything. If you're at that threshold, if you have a free app in the App Store, you don't charge anything at all. It's free to you. So why?
So why is that then? Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, how does that work then for these bunch of freeloaders in the regular App Store? You know?
Yeah, interesting. Okay, my final one is changes to rules about apps being installed from an alternative source. So this is a little bit related to that question about how do they know what's out there, what's being installed. So the current language, I'm going to read this to you. We want the app experience to remain as intuitive as possible for both users and developers. That's why developers will submit a single binary of their app for distribution across channels, including the App Store or an alternative app marketplace. An app may only be installed from one distribution channel at a time. To download a previously installed app from a new channel, the user must delete the app and reinstall it from a new marketplace. So say that I'm in the EU, I have Instagram on my phone, and it's from the App Store. It's from the pre-DMA, right? I installed it long ago. But now, for whatever reason, I want to download Instagram through the Meta app marketplace, assuming they do one. I can't just go to Meta's store or website and download it and it overwrite what's on my phone. I have to delete it from my phone. Now with Instagram, this is an issue, but in a lot of apps, you would risk data loss at this point. And then I have to reinstall it. That's a bad user experience. It risks data loss, like I said. And it just seems like a hurdle that doesn't that I don't know the technical reason for that hurdle, and it seems like something that could be brought back to earth.
What are you actually saying though? That they're going to do what?
That they would have a change where if I have an App Store app installed and I want a new version of that app from somewhere else, I can install over it in place, like an App Store update does now, where I'm not losing data.
Right. You no longer need to delete an application, basically.
Right.
Is what you're
Mhm.
suggesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That seems. I do wonder about that one. If it's like they just can't do it, like because it has to be treated as a separate app. Like I've wondered about that idea, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. And yeah, that may be the case, but like Apple made the whole system. Like I'm sure they can figure it out if they have to.
You know what? Yeah. Well, it's like it works with Test Flight, right?
Yeah, you can go back and forth with Test Flight in the App Store all day long.
Yeah. So why should it not work like this? It's like, yeah, it's a good point. Like they make the decisions. They're God in this scenario, right? Like they draw out these things. They don't happen naturally. It's all the sense of like rules and technology, right? And so they have the ability to change anything. On that thing about like apps and updates and stuff, did you see the thing about like what happens if you leave Europe?
The app stops working after a while, right?
After 30 days, you don't get updates anymore.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So spiteful. That's what kills me about all this. It's the attitude problem.
I just think these are the kinds of things that like we shouldn't be seeing, you know?
Yeah.
This is, in a way, it feels like not in a way, it's two very large institutions smashing into each other, right? And all these pieces are flying off left, right, and center, and we're picking them up and seeing what it's all about. Like we shouldn't really see this stuff, but I actually think that this is part of the reason in which the European Union chooses its, I think, peculiar way of putting laws into place, right? Which is like, we won't tell you what to do. You have to do it, and then we'll tell you if it was right or not. And I think part of the advantage of doing that is we see stuff like this happen. And I think it ingratiates people towards the rulemaking of the European Union, because we have to sit and watch as these companies try and flail around and look stupid in the process. Smart move.
Good times. So we'll check back in a month and we'll see where things are. Look how much changed over the last 10 days. It could be a whole new world.
Yeah.
Any and all of this could change. Maybe Apple just leaves the European Union, you know? Federico, could you ever worry about that?
No. It seems impossible. Yeah. No, how can you leave the European Union? You know, it's never going to happen.
The argument is the fines could be so large that at a certain point you will lose more money than you could possibly make.
But it's more than just about the bottom line. If you pull out of EU, your stock will take a huge hit, because it's all future possible revenue and growth in that area is gone.
If Apple seriously considers dropping the EU as a market, Tim Cook will be immediately replaced.
Yeah,
like it seems impossible to consider as an option.
I don't think any of these things are necessarily possible. We're just playing this out a little bit here. What if the argument to Wall Street was quite simply, we cannot comply with their laws, we will be saving $10 billion over the next 5 years? Like, the cost savings is all Wall Street cares about. They don't care about anything else.
I think the other problem is it is in the EU now. This is coming for Apple and other places. And they can't open that door, because then the only country you're left in is China, and they don't want to be there.
And Apple would face the potential issue of firing thousands of people who work in Europe, in retail stores, in offices, in the supply chain. Thousands, dozens of thousands. Like I don't even know how many Apple people work in Europe.
I don't think this is a possibility, but like it's just a question. Right? It's just something I think about you when I hear people talk about this stuff, because like obviously of everyone I know it would affect you the most. But it's just like a thought, right? Like it is not impossible, but it is incredibly unlikely. Like so many terrible things would have to happen before that would even be entertained, right?
Yeah.
This episode of Connected is brought to you by Ecamm. Ecamm Live is the leading video production and live streaming studio built for the Mac. Ecamm does all aspects of video, not just live streaming. It's perfect for simplifying your workflow, and it's easy enough to get started quickly but powerful enough that you can create just about anything with video. You can do it all with the Ecamm app, and I love how built into macOS it is. You get to use all of the features of your Mac, window layering, you can use multiple cameras, all sorts of stuff all built in. So whether you're streaming, recording, podcasting, and presenting, everything you need is in Ecamm, including support for multiple cameras and screen sharing, complete with a live camera switcher that lets you direct the show in real time. Ecamm lets you stand out from the crowd with high-quality video. Add logos, titles, lower thirds, graphics, share your screen, drop in video clips, bring on interview guests, use a green screen, and so much more. Their members are entrepreneurs, marketing professionals, podcasters, educators, musicians, church leaders, bloggers, and content creators of all kinds. Get 1 month free today at ecamm.com/connected using the code CONNECTED. That's 1 whole month free at ecamm.com, ECAMM, ecamm.com/connected. Go there now to check it out. Our thanks to Ecamm for their support of the show and Relay FM.
Let's talk about something different. Let's talk about the Vision Pro. So we've had our Vision Pros for is it 2 months now?
No,
Is it a month? A month.
A month and 10 days.
And I wanted to kind of check in about our current experiences. I wanted to just jump in first and give mine, and then we can, maybe go around the horn. I've been having, I don't know, the longer I use it, the more weird things I run into, right? I just think is natural.
This is also my feedback here. The more I use it, the more I run into weird issues. Yes.
And so I've experienced things that I've seen other people say, I've had environments tearing, and there's just blackness is what it's replaced with. I've had jitteriness and stuff like that. But the biggest issue that I've had consistently is eye tracking issues.
Yes.
Same where I'm trying to do something, and no matter what I do, I can't seem to look at what I need. And I will say the thing that I have been able to nail down here, which does fill me with an element of positivity, the majority of issues that I have are with compatible apps, like iPad apps that run on Vision Pro. The reason I said it is I feel like it's as more and more apps for Vision Pro exist, maybe this problem is lessened, and or there are maybe things that can be done to try and make this better. And I do feel that in general, that this is a version 1 product. The eye tracking kind of should go wrong sometimes, if that makes sense. It's the most complicated part. It feels like the thing that has the potential to be fixed too, right? It's like the way they use the data that comes from the sensors to interpolate where I'm looking. I have noticed in my experience that if I'm having trouble and I run the setup process again, it will fix it for me. But I don't know what it is that causes the problem. But it's the most consistent issue that I've had is that my eye tracking gets a bit weird sometimes. And then just a general frustration I have is that the standby battery is so bad. It's so bad. I don't leave mine plugged in because I'm just not going to do that. And so every day or maybe every 2 days, I go to use my Vision Pro and this battery is completely dead. And I have to plug it in and wait. Those are kind of my frustrations. But overall, I do continue to really enjoy using it. My time with the Vision Pro is very different to any other computer that I have. The things that I find myself doing, and I find it very enjoyable to use. I had my first experience, which I'm sure you two have both had already, of I needed to get some writing done yesterday, and I was kind of not being very productive at my Mac. And I went and sat down with my Vision Pro, and I opened Notion, and I tuned the environment in, and I was good to go. It gave me that kind of different environment feeling that I know a lot of people benefit from, and that was really nice. That was oh yeah, this is a great use of this product. Plus, you could be I was in physically a more comfortable environment, sitting on the couch rather than sitting on my desk. It helped that kind of mode shift that I needed to get that work done. So yeah, I would say overall, I do continue to have very positive experiences with it. But now that I've used it for long enough, I am starting to see more and more weird and broken things too.
Yeah. Yeah, that would also be my takeaway. I think it's been a slow ramp up for me in terms of like using the Vision Pro for work. Some things that I've noticed, I am not using environments as much as I thought I would. It feels isolating enough to put a thing on your face and to be in a virtual environment. Maybe it's the fact that I have dogs at home and I need to be aware of what they're doing. Putting an environment all around me, it's a cool visual thing, but I prefer to be fully aware and see my surroundings. I love putting a bunch of windows around me, even though there are no window management features at all. I just love the power of it. The issues that I'm seeing, the eye tracking, as you mentioned, like sometimes, and this happens for me even with native apps, I just cannot get the Vision OS to highlight what I'm looking at, and sometimes and it tends to be elements high up in my field of view, usually. So maybe it's something that has to do with my lenses, or maybe it's something that has to do with my eyes. I don't know. But I've also been trying, and this will be an article on Mac Stories. I've been trying all kinds of sort of mods for the Vision Pro straps.
Did you cut the front of it
trying
off?
A bunch. No. I had John ship me multiple items from Etsy in the US. And right now I'm using
I believe it's pronounced Etsy.
Etsy. Yes. No, hey, do you want to know? Hey, get ready. You want to know how the Y is pronounced in Italian?
Yes.
I'm going to give you a small teaser. Ypsilon. So get ready for that.
Whoa! It's Ypsilon.
I think I'm going to miss next week's show.
Yeah. Get ready for the Ypsilon, my friend. So right now I'm using the Solo Top adapter. So this is a thing that lets you use the Solo strap in the back of your head, but also an additional one on the top of your head. So I'm using two Solo knit straps at the same time, and it's very comfortable. But I'm waiting for more adapters to try different options. But yeah, eye tracking has been a frustration. And the other thing I wanted to mention, sometimes when I'm using my Mac with the Vision Pro for keyboard input, I have this issue where, and I'm guessing it's because of how I use my hands in real life. I have my hands on the keyboard, and because my thumb rests close to my index finger, Vision OS interprets that as a pinch. And so sometimes, even though I'm typing, I'm also accidentally swiping in the UI. So for example, if I'm typing in Obsidian and I'm writing, but sometimes the Obsidian sidebar comes up from the left side. And that's because Vision OS thought that even though I was typing, I was also swiping. And that gesture invokes the Obsidian sidebar. And so I think I would like to have some enhancements in Vision OS, some safeguards, sort of to assume that if the user is typing, maybe, be less aggressive with seeing that pinch gesture in front of the cameras. So yeah, that's something that I would like to see improved. And it's been a slow ramp up for sure, like trying apps, and it's very early days, right? So yeah, trying all these utilities. I think
so. I've had a problem with apps where like I'm trying not to buy too many because I'm going to need to rebuy them all soon, right? Because I'm on my US App Store account. So like I haven't really been buying a lot of games because I don't want to buy all these games and then in like 3 months, buy all these games again because I'll need to rebuy everything, right? I'm assuming if I change App Store account, which I will be doing. So like I'm trying to hold off from some stuff.
Yeah. The one thing I want to say for anybody who's interested in the Solo Top, which of all the adapters that I've tried so far, the Solo Top is the best in terms of printing quality. Like it's the plastic feels much better than what you get from other Etsy adapters. If you consider going down this route, I would recommend getting a size for the Solo knit strap that you want to put over, like above the one that goes on your head, like above your head. That one, get it one size smaller than the solo knit strap you put in the back of your head. So for example, my main solo knit strap was an M size. I got the S size for the top of my head. So because the M1 was too large. Yeah, that would be
Two
my
quick things.
recommendation.
The solo top looks bananas. This thing
Does
is,
it? I don't
is
know.
wild.
The image of it looks like an AI image generator messed up.
Yes. It's like
I made
it's
two of
got
them.
too many fingers, like that princess
Yeah.
photo. The other thing, just to cull the feedback, is that Mike is not able to do family sharing. No one can do family sharing across regions. And so your American account and those purchases you're making because you're using an illegal Vision Pro, you can't share those with your UK account and vice versa.
Even though my US account is a part of my family, which
Purchases
you're
don't
able
share.
to purchases and subscriptions do not share. Well, okay. There's some weird asterisks to this. Some do, some don't, and I couldn't even tell you why. Like Carrot Weather, that shares. Apple TV, Apple Music doesn't. But also not all third-party apps do either. So, but also the way in which I did it is a hack. You cannot invite someone to a family share via the typical means if they are not in the same country as you, unless you airdrop that invite.
Are you kidding me?
That I found it on Reddit. You cannot invite someone, but if you airdrop it, it works. So the reason I did it is so I still did, I benefited from all the iCloud stuff, right? So it's in the iCloud account. So it has like storage, backups, and all that kind of stuff. It's on my account. And there are some things that I benefit from, but not the stuff that I really wanted, which was like I wanted to have my Apple One stuff share, but that doesn't. But yeah, it doesn't work. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Like purchases don't share either, like just standard purchases. Some subscriptions do for some unbeknownst reason to me with some third-party apps, but not all of them.
Well, there you go. I guess they use AirDrop to like prove that you're together.
Yeah, but that's not how it works with regular family sharing, right? You can just send somebody a text and it works.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they do it that way, but they do.
Can I show you the next thing I'm waiting for
Yes.
to arrive? Okay, so this is gonna get slightly weird, all right? But
No way.
you know. Okay, so check out this link in the Discord. It's called the Air Cover for Apple Vision Pro. So this is an adapter that sits on your forehead, and the idea is that it lets you use the Vision Pro without the light seal. So without the the extra. So your eyes are directly in front of the lenses. And you should get a larger field of view, and you shouldn't get the tunnel effect. This company, Infinity One, they've been making Quest Pro and Meta Quest accessories for a while now, and I was able to put in an order today. I got the restock email. I put in my order, and now it's out of stock again.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the other thing I'm waiting for.
Do you think this guy shaved his head just to be in a model in this photo?
Do you think you need a shaved head for this?
Yeah.
I mean, your hair
why
don't get
would
messed
you
up.
think that?
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it gets messed up anyway. So
I'm worried about your eyes with this, Federico. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah. Don't
No,
worry
you're
about
good?
that. My eyes have been through worse. So yeah,
All right.
it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
This is interesting. I already feel like I have so much pressure on my face with the Vision Pro. I don't know. I don't know if this would make it better or worse.
So my thinking is if I combine this with the solar top,
Oh yeah.
right? So basically, I'm turning the Vision Pro into a helmet. All right, it's basically covering all of my head. But I mean, I'm alone anyway when I'm using this thing. There's nobody to can judge me besides my dogs, and they don't judge me. They love me anyways. So why not?
All right.
You know?
I put this topic in a couple of weeks ago, and over this period of time, I have become increasingly excited about the person who is yet to share any opinions, because I genuinely don't know if Steven uses his Vision Pro at all.
Actually,
And-
now that you say it, I don't either.
He never talks about it. We all talk about it.
Yeah.
He never talks
Do
about it.
you still have a Vision Pro, Steven?
I do still have a Vision
Okay,
Pro.
okay.
Let me
okay.
tell you, if I wasn't helping develop apps for it, I would have returned it.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
It
Very
is
good
fully
point.
tipped into
blogger.
the I need it for my work.
Why would you have returned it?
It so far, okay, so I will say my experiences, they measure y'all's. I will say Vision OS 1.1 fixed a lot of the jitteriness and stuff that I was having.
Okay.
I had the thing, I think Mike, you and I were texting about this, where like I put it on and like apps didn't know where the ground was anymore. They were like shaking. And I've had the thing where all of the environments, no matter which one you picked, are just white, which really feels like you're dying when you turn that dial and just whiteness everywhere when you're,
Yeah, I
when
had
you're
that.
expecting the moon.
I had
not had
that.
that.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never had that.
That is like the ghost of Johnny Ive inside Vision Pro. You know, it's like come into my room, but he says it in a British accent and like a ghost. Could you do that for us, Mike?
I don't know if I can. My accent's not British enough. for
It's true.
Johnny
Well, you
Ive.
can-
can
you
you can
need
turn
a
it back
voice
on.
actor. I don't think I can. I never had an accent like Johnny. It's like it's like
true.
a whole different thing. It's
It's
like
true.
fancy London.
Yeah, and you're not.
Mhm.
So yeah, the big thing is I don't have a place for it. Like I work on the Mac 99% of the time. My iPad already is not a computer. It's basically just a Hulu machine. Although right now I'm rewatching The Americans. So right now it's in a The Americans machine. And I got my phone. Like I don't want to use it when people are around, right? So it's basically quarantined to my studio.
Mhm.
And I don't do entertainment stuff out here. Like I talked about at some point, like there's a use case where like every couple of weeks, my wife has a bunch of friends over and they like catch up and spend the evening together. And those evenings I'm like banished to our bedroom or to my office. And there will be an opportunity, I think, to like, oh yeah, like watch a movie in bed on the Vision Pro. And that just hasn't happened yet. But the thing is like, it doesn't fit in anywhere. Like I'm much more efficient on these other platforms. And
Yeah, but it's fun to use.
is it?
Yeah, it is fun to use.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite things, I get to a point in the day where I'm like, oh, what should I do now? Like, it's just before we spoke today, I was like, I don't want to get into anything because I'm being lazy. I'm like procrastinating and also recording soon. So like, I don't want to get like far into a project. I'm going to have to stop. So I'm going to go watch some YouTube videos. Best place to watch YouTube videos, Juno. I just like go sit on my sofa. I turn the little dial. I bring up a YouTube video. Big screen, looks fantastic. And it's still got my iMessage over there. I was chatting with you guys while we're getting ready to start. Like, it's great. It's just iPad. It's like big iPad. That's what it is for me. And I really like it for that. It's like big, really good screen, fun to use iPad. I feel like I'm in the future. I like it. I just enjoy using it. I find it pleasurable.
And maybe I just haven't crossed that threshold yet. I do feel like I've got comfort issues still. In fact, just yesterday, I rescanned my face and it's like the same size seal that I have now. I've tried both thicknesses of the cushion.
What band do you use?
I've tried both. The dual one is more comfortable, but way more fiddly. So I've got the solo one on it right now.
Do you really find it? But like, are you undoing it when you take it off?
The top one I've left where it is. So you can
Uh-huh.
like put it on and then you just adjust the back one.
Yeah, stop doing
Yeah.
that. Just put it on, adjust it, and then just take it off. That's what I do. I don't, and so I use the dual loop because I have the top one kind of pretty tight, so it lifts the device a little bit, and then I kind of wear the back one kind of underneath the crown of my head, and I find that to be quite comfortable. It balances it quite well on the front of my face, but I just take it off, like from the front off, and that's how I take it on and off. You will not find it so fiddly if you stop doing that. Like, if anything, this is now the less fiddliest option because with the solo, you kind of do the little wind up, wind down thing. Or whatever
No, we
you
know
call it.
what it's called now. What was it called,
What is it?
Federico?
It's not rotating. Dial it. No, twist it. I don't know.
You
Flop
twist
it.
You spin the dial, twist. You don't rotate the dial.
Flick it. Twist it.
You spin the
Pull it.
dial. You spin the dial.
Yeah.
Turn the dial.
But that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, Stephen. Just try that. Like stop adjusting and adjusting, and then it's less fiddly to take on enough. But the reason I was expecting you would say something like this is because you were not looking forward to this, right? Like at the beginning, you were not looking forward to the Vision Pro. Like you've never really been excited about it. You're interested about it.
Interested.
You've never been excited about it.
And I was afraid of the motion sickness, and that is not a problem at all. Including apps where you like walk around, like what's the game like app that is so wild?
Black Box.
Even like walking around, interacting with stuff, totally fine. No issues with sickness at all, which I'm so glad for. But it's more of a thing like it hasn't kind of earned its place. And maybe like I need to think about the way you are. Like, okay, like if I'm going to sit down and watch some YouTube in my office, I just need to like roll over there and
if you're ever going to watch a YouTube video, go pick up your Vision Pro.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll run that as an experiment the next week or so.
Like start doing that like as a thing, and then because that's kind of one of the things that I've been doing. Like if I'm going to watch a video, I will watch it on the Vision Pro because it is nicer than watching it on my Mac. Like it looks better, and it's a more engaging experience because the sound is so good. And you feel more immersed in it, especially if you do that thing where you have the outside go dark, right? Like I really like how it darkens everything around the window. Like I think it's just like a very nice and intimate experience.
Yeah.
And then you may do what I do, which is like, well, now I'm here. Let me just do this, and let me do that, and let me do this, and let me do that. It's like start there, and maybe it will become a more of a thing for you. This is like I fully embrace and understand the weirdness of trying to convince your friend to use his $3,500 face computer. Like it is strange, but this is it, right? But I'm happy that you do have like an actual, real, good, serious use case for it, though. Like with Widgetsmith, like that's more serious than any use case I have. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing stuff, big time widget action, hot widget on widget action.
Does David like you describing it that way?
He does not know that I did that.
We have lots of conversations about it.
He specifically said, "Don't say hot widget action." It was in the handbook.
It's going to be in your performance review.
Yeah, probably. But so yeah, and the other thing is too, like the other thing I've been thinking about is exactly what you said. Like, do I have to force it? Like, yeah, I spent a lot of money on it, and that hurt and makes me feel bad, but it's something that is a legitimate part of my business now. But I also had to kind of get over that when it came to the iPad, right? At one point I just like made a decision like, okay, the iPad is just not a computer for me in the way that it is for other people, and like that's fine. I don't know. And maybe this will be in the same boat and I use it for a couple things. Maybe it's a YouTube machine. We'll see. I'm just very, very conflicted.
It 100% is more of an iPad than it is anything else. And so like once you embrace that thinking, then you will unlock all of the possible things that you can do with it. And it's like for me, that is, I can go do Slack on this. I can go do RSS on this. I can go write on this, and it's better than writing on my Mac. Same as it's better to watch YouTube videos on this. If I want to just sit down and like text my friends and like catch up on Safari tabs, like it is better than my Mac in like pretty much all of those scenarios, like an iPad is. And like so for Federico, it's even better, right? Because an iPad is more for Federico than it is for me or you. And I think once you kind of get into that mode, that kind of thinking, it unlocks the potential things that it can do for you, no matter what they are. Even if it becomes American's Machine Max or something. Yeah. We'll see. It's also very early days. Like I don't think we can really like harp on that enough. This is the most 1.0 thing Apple has shipped maybe ever. No, I wouldn't even say maybe. It is. It is super weird, and not just from like a bugginess perspective, but like I don't think it knows what it is as a platform, right? And the Apple Watch was that way too, but the Apple Watch had sort of immediate
use, even if it was
you know,
confusing.
I'm arguing with myself now. I got too overexcited. This works better at doing what it does than the Apple Watch version 1 did at what it did. Remember how slow it was just to everything? Like, at least this thing performs.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like, it does what it's supposed to do. You know, where like the Apple Watch, I don't know. It's between the two of them for sure. Like, and on that version 1 thing, like, it is key to see what happens in June. It's very important. Do they take any big jumps? They kind of should. Will they?
Yeah.
Like, what is Vision OS 2?
Mhm.
Right? Like, what does it look like? I think that is going to be very, very important.
Yeah. And I've thought a lot about that too. The timing of it's weird, right? Because this product is new, in February? It's 4 months before WWDC.
Mm-hmm.
But is that enough time for Vision OS 2 to be a shift in meaningful ways? Because the rumors were the hardware was ready and the software is what wasn't. And the software was catching up to the hardware. And if that is true...
They didn't ship any new ideas, right? Like, it's more ideas than execution, I think, is what we're hoping for with Vision OS 2.
Maybe.
Show me all the other stuff I can do.
Maybe. Give us some... All I want is a place to put windows where I'm not looking at them. You know? Like,
right. But like that might be it, right? Like, they built what they needed to build to get Windows to show. Now, how do you build upon that, right? And Vision OS 2 can come out in December. It doesn't have to come out in September.
It's true. Yeah.
What about, and hear me out before we wrap up, a place to put your windows, right? What about a shelf?
Imagine.
Damn it.
Imagine.
The shelf.
The
It always
virtual
comes back.
shelf. The Vision shelf.
He's at a shelf.
It's
Vision.
actually a physical shelf that gets drawn on your wall. And you just
Mm.
reach up and bring your windows down.
like books,
you know?
like
And
apps
put
are like
your windows
books.
there.
You just
Yeah.
pull them
Yeah.
off.
Little
That's really
wooden
good.
shelf.
That's probably what they'll do.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I think that does it for this week. If you want to find links to stuff we spoke about, head on over to the website, relay.fm/connected/493. I got the show name right this time. So go me. You can also become a member. Connected Pro is $7 a month or $70 a year. You get longer ad-free versions of each and every episode. You get access to the Relay members Discord, several members-only podcasts, a newsletter that comes out each month. It's a lot of fun stuff. We'd love to have you join us there in the membership program. You can also submit feedback via the link in the show notes or on the web. Please no more shower feedback. We're not going to read anymore. We're done. We're done. We're moved past the shower.
Thank you.
We're drying off. We're toweling off. Time to move on. But other stuff.
Only in the evening, though. Only in the evening.
Mike, you can't. You gotta.
Well, but
we're
you
pulling
see-
the shower. We're pulling the curtain shut on the shower.
That's good. No, but you see, the thing is like you can enrage people now because we're not going to read the feedback, right?
Yeah.
It's like now is the perfect time
The thing is,
to get the hot takes.
one of us still has to read it because it's in the website. We're just not going to be reading it on the air.
Yeah, but like then people don't get the satisfaction, you know?
Maybe.
Although, oh boy, do some people have some things to say about me.
Yeah. Can I just? I'm just going to say something.
Yeah.
You don't have to put nasty language in the feedback form. If you disagree with something we say, like we want to like hear that. We want to have a dialogue. But calling people names and using language that is not something we would say on the show, it's just there's no room for that.
Genuinely, like, I mean, I'm cool with it now. Like, I've got a thick skin, like, whatever. Like, so basically, I had some spicy takes about emulators in the pro show a couple of weeks ago. We've had some banger pro shows recently. Today, we spoke about if the magic is gone or not. You can, sign up if you want to know what that was. Genuinely, the most nasty feedback I've ever received in the last week, which I expected some. I did not expect that. Like, some people, they just really love to steal video games. You know what I'm saying, boys?
Mm-hmm.
They just love to do it. They just love to do it.
Yeah, it was wild.
Wild stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I will say on that, actually? I'm going to say one last thing because now I'm fired up. If you want to say it, put your name on it. Right? Say what you like to me, but put your email address in it. Right? Don't go anonymous if you want to say stuff like that. If you want to come at me, but let me say something back. All right, no, I've gone too far now.
Wow.
I've gone
Yeah.
too far now.
I will say that person is a member. Just keep that in mind.
I don't care. Cancel your membership. If you're gonna call me names like that, I don't want your money. You know,
Yeah,
really nasty names, by the way.
it was
like, if
pretty.
you're
It was.
wondering.
Yeah,
It was
yeah, yeah.
real bad.
Yeah, it was real nasty.
It was real bad. That's why I'm a little upset. But I am thick-skinned enough. It doesn't sound like it, but sometimes,
Good.
put your name on it.
Mhm.
Okay. If you want to find us online and say nice things to us, you can do that on Threads. We're Vitici, iMike, and ISMH86. We're also on Mastodon. Federico is Vitici at MacStories.net. He, of course, is the editor-in-chief of MacStories.net. Lots of great stuff going over there. We didn't even get to talk about it today because we had the EU. I'm sure you're going to talk about it on App Stories. But multi-button has been updated to version 1.1, and it is
Yeah.
bananas.
Yeah. We can talk about this next week. There's
Okay.
a few things that I've been building. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's a very handsome man in your example screenshots.
Yeah. That's you. Yes.
Yeah, that's me.
You are handsome.
It's
Steven.
me.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah. That's because you shower a lot.
I do. I'm going to shower after this
Morning,
podcast.
evening, noon, and night.
That's right, yeah. I mean, the winters are so hot. They gotta cool off.
I got
showering.
I got a question for you. Like one final shower question for you guys before we end this forever. Like when you are in the shower, do you feel like you wash your legs as accurately as the other parts of your body?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wash my legs,
washing
but
your,
not with the
like-
same vigor as everything else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's boring. Yeah, washing your legs is boring. You
I'm
know?
36 years old. I can't bend over that long. You know? I'm a tall man.
I feel like I do a pretty good job of washing my legs, and it's because I
You
mountain
do?
bike, and you get dust and dirt
all
and
the
stuff all over
dirt
your
to get in the
legs,
legs.
and you got to
Yeah.
I mean,
wash
look, if I have muddy legs, I'm putting the effort.
But
in,
I'm saying that has like trained me. I don't mountain bike every day, but it has trained me to wash my legs thoroughly all the time.
Mm.
I'm a big believer in the leg wash.
Big leg boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clean thighs.
Yeah,
He's
but
a
you got to
clean
kneel
thighs.
down though because we're old and not flexible
He's
anymore.
part of Steven is part of Big Leg. That's why he washes his legs. So
Big
I-
leg.
Like, it's not that I
You know.
feel like I shouldn't. It's just I know I don't. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, that's
I
that's
know
why
I should
was
do a
looking-
better job.
Yeah, I was looking for an honest answer. Like, do you
Yeah.
wash your legs as accurately as the other parts of your body? And the answer is most. Like, I would wager that, like, for most people, the answer is no, because like washing your legs is like boring. It's like, okay, now I gotta wash these two things, and it's and I'm at the end of the process. So like, I wash them, but not as vigorously, as,
I have one final question.
Okay.
as the other limbs.
How
I
often
guess.
do you use shampoo?
Oh yeah, every time I take a shower, I just.
Oh, that's so bad for you.
I know, but I can resist it. It's so
The
nice.
problem, this is the thing. If you start doing it, you can't not do it.
Yeah,
Because then your hair
exactly.
gets all gross. But like, yeah,
Exactly.
I wash my hair like 3 times a week.
Okay.
Oh,
like,
at
with
least.
shampoo.
Yeah, at least.
But
Yeah,
not
yeah.
every day. Not every day. No.
Okay.
No, not every day. Not every. Yeah. No, I sometimes do it every day.
It feels
Yeah.
good. Feels
Mm.
good.
It feels
Bad for
nice. It
the hair,
feels so
bad for
nice.
the hair.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for showers.
No,
And-
I have big shampoo
No.
comments.
Incredible. Let's do it.
So during COVID, I grew my hair out, and
Yeah.
my hair is curly, and I use shampoo every day because I just didn't know any better. And a friend of ours commented that, "Oh, like your hair's going out." I was like, "Yeah, but like, I don't know what to do with it." And anyway, so I adopted the curly girl method of washing curly hair.
Yes.
So
What is it? I love it. You're a
it's-
big curly
it's-
girl. I love it. You're a
it's a
curly girly. I
shampoo
love it.
every set number of days. I have a shampoo that I only use on Sundays. It's like a cleanser. This whole thing, you use co-wash other days. It's like
What
a whole
is that?
It's a whole cycle.
Is that what you wash with someone else? What is that?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Is that
you gotta
widget
be in
action? What's
in that
going
North
on?
Carolina shower.
Oh, love it. This Barbie collects computers. This is amazing.
That's right. And,
I love this.
so it's a whole thing. But the thing is, I recently buzzed my head, and I'm still following this method, even though my hair is too short to be curly, because now I see the benefit of this. And like my scalp is healthier. there's good methods out there. You don't have to use
Can
shampoo
you
every
can
day.
you put a link in the show notes to the curly girl method so
Yep.
people know what it is?
I will do that. I'm putting it right now.
Also, you should grow your hair out again.
I will probably at some point. You know
Should.
me.
You have a whole method. You
I
know,
get bored.
you can't waste it on.
I'm
a
going
buzz
short
head.
hair, long beard for a while, like I did in
Nice.
19.
I like that. The Letterman beard.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
If you're gonna give me something, I want that more than the curly hair. Even though I love the curly hair.
You can follow Mike on Mastodon
Incredible.
at iMike at Mike.social. He is
What
the
a
host.
ride this outro has been.
know.
You know, I offered someone out in a fight. We spoke about the curly girl method. It's been a great time for everyone. You know?
Yeah, people who skip the closing chapter are going to really miss out.
They're gonna miss out.
Mike-
Or like they're like, look at their podcast player and it's like 15 minutes
I know.
left.
I know. This is longer than some of the
What
other chapters
happened
this
here?
week. Mike hosts other shows here on Relay FM. He is also working over at Cortex Brand, making high quality notebooks and other paraphernalia for your workspace and life.
Mhm.
They're very good. I have my solo notebook right there on the other desk.
Oh, thank you.
It's great. I use it all the time. You can follow me on Mastodon, ISMH at eworld.social. You can find my writing at 512pixels.net, and I co-host Mac Power Users here on Relay FM each and every Sunday. And we got some very exciting things coming up on MPU. We got a big interview coming up in the next couple of weeks. Got some show stuff. It's going to be good. I'd like to thank our sponsors for making this possible. Fitbod, ExpressVPN, and Ecamm. You can learn more about them with the links in the show notes. I'd like to thank our members supporting us directly. Go join at relay.fm/connected. And until next week, guys, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
Cheerio.
Bye, y'all.